There are stories that refuse to die, tales that linger in the collective memory of humanity, passed down through generations, growing richer with each retelling. These are whispers from a forgotten past that echo through the ages, calling out to us from beneath the waves of time. The tale of Atlantis is one such story, a magnificent island civilization, a utopia of wealth and wisdom, swallowed by the sea in a single terrible day and night. Its fate, described by Plato, has haunted the dreams of explorers, scholars and visionaries for centuries. For over 2,000 years, Atlantis has captivated our imagination, hinting at a lost golden age and a missing chapter in our human story. Its legend has inspired countless expeditions, works of art, and philosophical debates about the nature of civilization itself. We look at ancient monuments and wonder if we are truly the pinnacle of civilization, or merely survivors of a forgotten catastrophe. The ruins scattered across continents seem to whisper secrets of a time when humanity may have reached heights now lost to us. The allure of Atlantis is deeply personal, a hope that humanity was once greater, wiser, and more in tune with the cosmos. It stirs a longing for connection to something grander than ourselves, a civilization that understood mysteries we have yet to unravel. It's a search for lost potential, a dream of a world where technology and spirituality coexisted in harmony, where knowledge was cherished and shared freely. The legend persists because it resonates with a sense of loss, a feeling that our modern world is somehow incomplete. Atlantis represents the possibility that we have forgotten something essential about who we are and where we come from. In searching for Atlantis, we are searching for a missing part of ourselves, a piece of our identity that lies hidden beneath the surface of history. This journey is not just about myth, but about questioning the established narrative of history, daring to imagine that the past holds more mysteries than we have yet discovered. Let us peel back the layers of skepticism and explore the evidence, the theories, and the enduring power of the world's most famous lost civilization, Atlantis, the enduring whisper of a lost world. Our journey begins with Plato, who introduced Atlantis in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias around 360 BC. Plato claimed the story came from Egyptian priests who described a mighty civilization beyond the Pillars of Hercules, Atlantis, a power that once threatened the ancient world. The priests told of an island larger than Libya and Asia combined, ruling over other lands from the Atlantic Ocean. Plato presented Atlantis as a cautionary tale, a record of how ancient Athens stood against imperial might. Mainstream historians dismiss the story as allegory, a philosophical lesson about the dangers of hubris. Yet Plato's account is filled with precise details, measurements, city layouts and political structures, insisting the story is true. Is it likely Plato invented every detail, or was he recording a tradition he believed was genuine history? The question remains, was Atlantis a fable, or a distorted memory of a real lost civilization? Plato describes Atlantis as a civilization of extraordinary sophistication, ruled by descendants of the sea god Poseidon and a mortal woman, Plato. The capital city, built on concentric rings of land and water, was a marvel of engineering, its walls gleaming with precious metals, its canals wide enough for ships. Atlanteans mastered agriculture, resource management and civil engineering, living in harmony and prosperity. Their society was guided by divine laws, valuing virtue above all else. For generations they thrived, despising excess and living with moderation, but as the divine bloodline faded, greed and ambition took root. The Atlanteans' character changed, setting the stage for their tragic downfall. The golden age of Atlantis was not to last. As the Atlanteans' virtue faded, their lust for power grew. They sought to conquer the Mediterranean, challenging the cosmic order. The gods, led by Zeus, saw their hubris and resolved to punish them. Plato's dialogue ends as Zeus prepares his judgment, but the outcome is clear. Atlantis would be destroyed. In a single dreadful day and night, violent earthquakes and floods annihilated the island, swallowing it beneath the sea. The destruction was so complete that only a barrier of mud remained, making the Atlantic unnavigable. Was it a volcano, a tsunami, or something even greater? The story hints at a global catastrophe. Atlantis is not just a moral fable, it's a warning about the fragility of civilization. Our own world, too, exists at the mercy of immense geological and cosmic forces. For centuries, Atlantis was seen as philosophy, not history, an allegory crafted by Plato to illustrate his ideas about society and power. But that changed in 1882, when Ignatius Donnelly published his groundbreaking book and reignited the world's fascination with the lost city. Donnelly boldly argued that Atlantis was not just a myth, but a real place, the cradle of all ancient civilizations whose influence shaped cultures across the globe. He compared myths, languages and monuments from every continent, weaving together legends and archaeological clues to support his claim. The hunt for Atlantis soon became a global quest, captivating explorers, scholars and dreamers alike. Adventurers proposed dozens of possible locations, each more intriguing than the last, ranging from the vast Atlantic Ocean to the mysterious depths of the Mediterranean and even farther afield. Some searched the mid-Atlantic ridge, where underwater mountains hint at lost lands, suggesting the Azores or Canary Islands are remnants of a sunken continent. Others look to Malta, Sardinia, or even the icy expanse of Antarctica, each theory striving to match Plato's vivid descriptions with geological and archaeological evidence. The challenge is immense. If Atlantis truly vanished 11,600 years ago, as some believe, any trace would now be hidden deep beneath the ocean's surface, buried by millennia of shifting sands and silt, making discovery even more elusive. Rising sea levels at the end of the last ice age would have erased any coastal civilization, leaving only tantalizing hints behind. Today, finding Atlantis requires advanced technology, sonar, submersibles and satellite imaging, as well as a willingness to venture into the unknown, following clues that may lead nowhere or to astonishing discoveries. The quest continues, fueled by curiosity and the enduring hope of uncovering a lost world that still haunts our imagination. Among the many scientific theories that attempt to explain the legend of Atlantis, the Minoan hypothesis stands out as one of the most compelling. This theory suggests that Atlantis is actually a distant memory of the island of Thera, what we now call Santorini, preserved through generations of storytelling and myth. Around 1600 BC, Thera's volcano erupted with devastating force, unleashing one of the most powerful explosions in recorded history. The eruption destroyed a flourishing Minoan outpost, burying it under ash, and triggered massive tsunamis that struck the nearby island of Crete, the heart of the Minoan civilization. This catastrophic event contributed to the decline of the Minoan civilization, echoing Plato's tale of a prosperous island society suddenly destroyed by the sea. The parallels between the myth and the archaeological evidence are striking. Archaeologist Spiridon Marinatos argued that the story of Thera's eruption was passed down through generations, eventually reaching Plato via Egyptian priests who preserved ancient records and oral traditions. Over centuries, the details of the disaster may have been exaggerated or altered, the date pushed further into the past, the location shifted westward to the Atlantic, and the scale of destruction magnified in the retelling. Yet the Minoan hypothesis has its flaws. Santorini is much smaller than Plato's Atlantis, and the Minoans, while advanced, lacked the godlike engineering and vast empire described in the ancient texts. Furthermore, Plato was specific about Atlantis being located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar, far from the Aegean Sea. To accept this theory, we must believe that Plato's sources got the date, the size and even the location of Atlantis wrong, perhaps due to centuries of oral transmission and myth-making. The Minoan hypothesis fits some facts and offers a tantalizing connection between myth and history, but it still leaves many questions unanswered, and many pieces of the puzzle missing. Perhaps, in the end, the story of Atlantis is exactly what it claims to be, a memory of a lost world echoing through time, inviting us to keep searching for the truth beneath the waves. Many researchers insist on taking Plato literally, searching the Atlantic beyond the Strait of Gibraltar. The mid-Atlantic ridge and the Azores are prime candidates, with some pointing to underwater structures as possible evidence. The Canary Islands and Madeira have also been proposed as remnants of Atlantis. The challenge is the lack of definitive archaeological proof. Deep ocean secrets are hard to uncover. In the Caribbean, the Bimini Road, a line of submerged limestone blocks, has fueled speculation about a lost civilization. Some believe it's man-made, linking it to ancient cultures of the Americas. Even more radical theories place Atlantis in Antarctica, suggesting it was once temperate before a sudden shift froze it over. Ancient maps like the Piri Reis map show Antarctica's coast without ice, hinting at forgotten knowledge. The search for Atlantis spans the globe, each theory reflecting our desire to find a lost chapter of human history. Atlantis has become more than a legend. It's a cornerstone of modern mythology and pop culture. Writers, artists, and filmmakers have reimagined Atlantis as a lost utopia, a technological paradise, or a warning about disaster. From Jules Verne's novels to Disney's animated films, Atlantis is endlessly reinvented for new generations. In comics, it's the underwater kingdom of heroes like Aquaman. Beyond entertainment, Atlantis is central to New Age beliefs, seen as a time of spiritual enlightenment and lost psychic abilities. Figures like Edgar Cayce described Atlantean technology and spiritual conflicts, blending myth with mysticism. The legend has also inspired conspiracy theories, linking Atlantis to aliens or secret societies. Whether fact or fiction, Atlantis endures as a symbol of lost wisdom and hidden power. Why does Atlantis still fascinate us? In an age of technology and exploration, the idea of a lost continent remains irresistible. The search for Atlantis reflects our longing for a greater past and a deeper understanding of ourselves. Its story mirrors our own civilization, advanced yet vulnerable to disaster and hubris. Atlantis is a timeless warning. Pride and greed can lead to ruin, no matter how advanced the society. The quest for Atlantis is the ultimate adventure, blending history, archaeology, and imagination. To find it would rewrite history, forcing us to rethink our origins and capabilities. Whether or not Atlantis is ever found, the legend keeps our minds open and our sense of wonder alive. We will keep searching, listening for that ancient whisper from the depths, hoping to uncover the truth of the lost world beneath the waves.